When you play your guitar through a digital amp simulator on your computer, the response feels heavy, disconnected, and completely unnatural. You strike a string, but your hands feel like they are fighting an invisible resistance that ruins your rhythmic timing and your physical connection to the instrument. The physics shows that even a microscopic delay between your pick and the speaker cone forces your brain to hesitate, which destroys your groove. Most guitarists assume that software plugins simply lack the immediate physical response of a real tube circuit, but the math proves you have configured your computer to delay your signal on purpose. Most guitarists spend hundreds of dollars on premium software or buy faster computer processors to stop this lag. The computer is not too slow and your plugins are not broken. Here at the Tone Manual, engineers have found that a single overlooked mathematical buffer setting in your audio driver is forcing your hardware to stall your audio waves to prevent computer crashes. Eliminating this lag does not cost a penny, but ignoring it forces your hands to constantly fight the software, which prevents you from capturing a usable performance. The audio industry heavily markets new processors and external hardware boxes as the ultimate cure for digital delay. The physics shows that buying a more expensive computer does not rewrite the fundamental laws of digital audio routing. Buying a faster processor to fix bad audio routing is like buying a faster car to sit in a traffic jam, because the processing speed does not matter if the mathematical pathway is clogged. Fixing this disconnected feeling requires you to take manual control of the exact mathematical threshold where your hardware communicates with your software. To understand the delay, you must understand the conversion cycle happening inside your interface. Every time you pluck your guitar, your analog signal travels as continuous physical electricity into your audio interface. This signal must undergo ADC, which stands for analog to digital conversion, a physical process that forces your continuous electrical sound wave to be chopped into discrete binary computer code. The hardware must sample the voltage thousands of times per second to create a digital blueprint that the software can read, which fundamentally alters how the signal behaves inside the machine. Once that digital code enters the computer and gets processed by your amplifier plugin, it exists only as mathematics. This mathematical signal must travel back out to your interface to undergo DAC, which is digital to analog conversion, a process that translates the digital numbers back into physical electrical voltages so they can push the physical cones in your studio monitors to produce the sound wave that reaches your ear. This constant translation back and forth takes a severe toll on the computer's clock, creating the very delay you feel in your fingertips. An analog signal travels through a physical copper wire at roughly 2/3 the speed of light, which creates an instantaneous response with zero calculation required. Digital systems operate under completely different physical constraints. A digital setup must constantly pause to capture the analog voltage, calculate the mathematical changes from the plugin, and then reconstruct the audio back into the physical world. This conversion and calculation cycle creates an unavoidable processing bottleneck inside the machine, which physically prevents the software from responding as fast as a real tube amp without your manual intervention. Most guitarists assume their computer dedicates all of its power to the recording software when it is open. The reality is, your computer's CPU must continually switch context to process hundreds of background operating system tasks simultaneously. Your CPU acts like a single chef in a busy kitchen. The chef cannot chop vegetables continuously if they are forced to answer the telephone and check the oven every 3 seconds. This constant internal interruption means the processor cannot handle your incoming guitar signal in a perfectly continuous, unbroken stream. If the CPU stepped away to handle a background network task, the incoming guitar audio would be lost entirely. If the computer drops this data, the sound simply stops existing. To prevent the computer from dropping this audio data while it handles other tasks, the interface drivers use an audio buffer, which is a temporary memory queue that collects and stores your incoming sound waves into specific mathematical batches before sending them to the CPU. The audio buffer is implemented as a safety net to guarantee the audio survives the journey, but this safety net comes at the direct cost of time. You control the exact size of this memory queue. Using a very small buffer is like trying to empty a sink by carrying the water away in a thimble. This provides extremely fast delivery, but it demands exhausting, repetitive effort from the CPU because the processor must constantly return to empty the thimble. Using a large buffer is like waiting for a heavy 5-gallon bucket to fill up with water. This prevents the worker from getting exhausted, but it severely delays the delivery of the water to its final destination, ensuring your guitar signal arrives noticeably late to your speakers. The delay you feel in your hands is a direct mathematical formula that you control. The physics and mathematics dictate that your base latency is calculated by dividing your chosen buffer size by your sample rate. Your sample rate is the number of times per second your audio interface captures the audio voltage, typically 44,100 times per second. Because the sample rate is largely locked to industry standards, the buffer size becomes the single variable you can manipulate to save your guitar tone and restore your timing. When you leave your recording software on its default settings, it often selects a large, safe buffer size to prevent system crashes. Software manufacturers default to massive 1024 sample buffers to ensure their product never crashes on your computer, prioritizing their software stability over your physical playing feel. The math proves that a default buffer size of 1024 samples creates over 23 milliseconds of bass delay. When you add the hidden conversion times of the hardware itself, the total round-trip delay approaches 30 milliseconds, which forces your hands to fight an invisible physical resistance that completely destroys your rhythmic connection to the instrument. You might lower the buffer size to 64 samples and notice that your overall CPU usage meter only reads 30%, yet the audio still fails. A digital audio workstation can show moderate average CPU usage and still drop audio because real-time processing is highly vulnerable to momentary processing spikes. One heavy reverb plugin or background system check can demand sudden power, which instantly empties the buffer queue and results in a complete system failure. When a CPU spike occurs and the processor fails to return in time to empty a small buffer, the queue overflows. The system experiences an X-run, which is the technical term for a buffer underrun or overrun. This mathematical failure manifests in the physical world as loud pops, clicks, or sudden silent dropouts in your recording. The system literally throws away a segment of your guitar performance because it ran out of time to process the numbers, which destroys the audio file permanently and forces you to stop and re-record the take. Setting the buffer size is a strict balancing act between system stability and human perception. Scientific testing has proven that the human brain begins to perceive a disconnected delay when the latency exceeds 10 milliseconds. This 10 millisecond window is the absolute critical threshold for maintaining a natural playing feel. Any total round-trip latency exceeding this 10 millisecond window will cause you to subconsciously play ahead of the beat to compensate for the machine's lag, compromising your timing and your technique. To visualize this threshold, you must look at the physical speed of sound. Because sound travels through the air at roughly 1,000 feet per second, every millisecond of digital latency is physically identical to standing 1 foot further away from your physical amplifier. A 10 millisecond digital delay is exactly the same acoustic experience as standing 10 feet away from your speaker cabinet. When you play through a digital system with 30 milliseconds of delay, you are acoustically playing a guitar amp that is placed down the hallway and in another room, and your brain simply cannot lock into a groove at that physical distance. The type of instrument you play significantly changes your tolerance for this delay. Researchers testing electronic instruments without tactile physical feedback found that extreme latencies heavily degrade a musician's rhythmic accuracy. Striking a heavy-gauge physical guitar string provides an immediate tactile shock to your fingers. If the auditory sound from the speakers arrives even a fraction of a second later, your nervous system registers a severe mechanical error, which proves that your physical touch must perfectly synchronize with the auditory response to maintain the groove. To avoid this discrepancy entirely, engineers have found that professional monitoring demands total round-trip latencies below 5 milliseconds. This aggressive target ensures that the digital processing happens faster than the human nervous system can detect the separation between the pick striking the string and the sound hitting the ear. Professional studio engineers enforce this 5 millisecond limit strictly to guarantee perfect performances. Achieving this elite standard requires you to stop relying on conservative automatic settings and configure your hardware deliberately. If you are using a Windows computer, lowering the buffer size will not work if you are using the default system audio driver. Standard Windows audio drivers route your guitar signal through the operating system's internal multimedia mixer, which creates massive, unavoidable delays. The standard Windows mixer is designed to play background videos and system notification sounds, not process real-time instruments. You must bypass this consumer-level mixer completely by utilizing an ASIO driver, which is a specialized protocol that allows your recording software to establish a direct, uninterrupted line of communication with the audio hardware. To fix your disconnected amp simulator today, you must implement these specific settings. Open your recording software's Audio Preferences menu. Verify that a dedicated ASIO driver is selected for your specific interface brand, rather than a generic Windows driver. Locate the buffer size drop-down menu to take manual control of the mathematics. Set this value exactly to 64 or 128 samples, because this specific mathematical command forces the computer to empty the queue rapidly, which restores the immediate, snappy physical response to your hands. The buffer size is not a setting you configure once and forget. You must actively manage this setting throughout the lifecycle of your project. Use a small buffer of 64 or 128 samples during the tracking phase, when your physical connection to the instrument is the only priority. Once the recording is finished, immediately increase the buffer size to 1024 samples or higher for the mixing phase. During mixing, you are just listening to playback, so a slight delay when pressing the spacebar does not matter. However, the heavy CPU power granted by a 1024 sample buffer is critical to run multiple tracks of complex equalization without crashing the session. If your system cannot handle a 64 sample buffer and begins emitting pops and clicks, you must methodically troubleshoot the processing bottleneck. Do not immediately assume your computer is obsolete. Begin by turning off heavy mastering plugins. Some complex software is designed to look ahead into the future of the audio file to process it smoothly, which mathematically forces a massive delay upon your live signal. Ensure your audio interface is connected directly to the motherboard, rather than a low-quality USB hub. And if the artifacts persist, incrementally raise the buffer size to 128 or 256 samples until the clicks stop. Your audio interface is not defective, and digital amp simulators do not inherently lack feel or dynamic response. The physics shows that achieving a perfect, responsive guitar tone in a digital home studio is entirely dependent on how accurately you balance your buffer size against your computer's processing limitations. By dictating the exact size of the digital memory cue, you eliminate the delay and restore the vital connection between your hands and the sound. Understanding this science cuts through the marketing hype and puts you back in control of your instrument. Are you managing your system's mathematics, or is the software managing you?